Touche.
She's got you there now, doesn't she?
There, mon frere.
I don't even know why people are liking this.
So people are liking us because we're very likable. What
Not
do you mean?
us, this
Oh.
post.
Oh.
People better be liking us.
You could have lied.
If you don't like
Because
us,
it was us.
shame on you. You should feel really bad.
Oh, there are people who don't like us, but I don't
What? They better like us. Everybody
They're
better
just
like. I'm gonna have a
jealous.
complex. Thank goodness I'm seeing my therapist on Thursday.
Good thing.
Now I
Jealous.
just found out people don't like us.
Well,
Not
they don't
everybody
us
will
now.
like us,
Just
Lou.
wait.
No, everybody likes me. I don't know about you.
care. Oh, okay. That's not what I heard.
Oh, everybody can calm down. I'm just having a good time.
Everybody, hey, you just calm down, okay?
What's not to like? A
Well,
bunch of good time guys.
well.
Wow.
That was not even a good one.
Oh,
How's everybody doing? You guys ready to do some? You guys ready to make podcast history?
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day I'm making podcast history.
Are you closing that door?
I guess I should.
The kitty cat will come in. Meow. He's over here. Meow. Meow.
There you go. I can't do it as good as you.
You can.
I just don't want to.
Is it weird for you?
Yeah, because I'm a boy, and cats are girls,
You are?
and dogs are boys.
You're such an ass. I used to think that when I was a kid.
Yeah, a lot.
Some
a lot of
people still
do.
think it.
Billy Altman.
That's
Go
not
to
even
bed,
right.
Billy.
It's not even right.
Keith's not here, but I can still say go
Just
to
in
bed, Billy.
case.
It's one of my
Well, you
favorite.
can substitute yourself saying it.
Okay.
Right on.
There we
Yeah.
are. It's
Get the beautiful hunk of womanhood in
a
frame.
hard meat or
Beautiful-
not.
Beautiful woman.
With a piece of meat,
Yeah.
and you're all gonna like it. We're gonna take a big bite.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Oh no, you didn't!
God help me on this podcast this evening.
Help me on this.
I'll drink to that.
Oh God! I drove past Julie Parker's old house.
I don't know who Julie Parker is.
You don't need to, as long as Lou and I do.
Yeah, I found it the other day. I went out
Oh,
a couple
you
weeks ago.
found it. Creeper.
couple-
Yeah.
I
So
did.
what if I make a left here?
Yeah, I did.
and a
I
right
remember the general
here?
idea where it was because I'd been to her dad. Don't you remember me and Paul and Steve Guthrie were playing in her band for a while? You don't remember that,
I
do
don't.
you?
I was gone.
And
I was going to heaven before I came by.
Creeper.
and I was like, where in the
Las
hell was that
Vegas.
house? And it's one of those roads. You know where Mingo is?
Yeah.
Mingo.
You know, the road that takes you down towards Mingo. It's one of those sugar.
Sugar Run Hill
Yeah,
or
it's
something.
something- it's one of the- yeah,
I know
yeah.
which road you mean.
Yeah, it's up there.
I have friends that live down there.
Ain't that something?
She's not one of them. But
No,
obviously.
Julie lives where now? North Carolina, or
Kentucky, I
Kentucky.
believe.
Kentucky. She's a
I'm
Kentuckian,
Kentucky.
just like John Wayne.
Was he from Kentucky?
I don't know. Well, he had a song. He had a movie called The Kentuckian. No,
Oh,
he did
okay.
not.
I was gonna say, he
No,
didn't-
it was the
He didn't have a
Virginian.
song.
The Virginian, not the Kentuckian.
True Grit. I know that one.
True shit.
Oh,
No, True Grit is some good shit.
yeah.
True Grit's the good shit. Okay, you guys ready to talk about some podcast type stuff? I don't know.
Sure.
okay.
I mean, if we must,
Mm-hmm.
we must increase our bust. Right?
I
Lou?
know. Some of us.
No, we don't need
some,
to.
Some are fine.
It's already increased it.
And that's right, Lou. I'm looking at you.
I say crease. If you have a crease in your bust, please send photos.
I'm going to tape them down next week.
P.O. Box 418,
Like do a
Pueblo,
mustache.
Colorado.
And a beard and come in like that.
Apache Junction.
Apache Junction. Pueblo.
Pueblo.
Do you remember that? Do you remember
Yeah.
the? No,
Pueblo-
not you.
yeah.
This one. I think that was before her time. All those pamphlets, the government pamphlets.
Yeah,
Oh, I don't
they all
know.
came from Pueblo, Colorado.
Yeah.
I was talking about the movie Bad Santa when he says he's from Apache Junction.
Oh.
Apache Junction, what's your function?
Picking up words and phrases and somethings.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good night. I'm not obviously nearly as drunk as you
And
two
loose-
are or something.
Loose women.
All right, guys. You guys ready to do a little
Yeah, let's
something with the
stop
podcasting?
messing around. Come on now.
Gotta keep on casting that podcast. All right, guys. You guys ready? I'm I'm just getting warmed up.
He's got glitter on him again.
What on me?
Glitter.
Glitter on me. I'm ready. Okay, here we come. A couple of assholes. Okay, I gotta start this thing, so no laughing. This is serious stuff. Here we go. There's a bug flying around in front of me now. It's gonna distract me. All right, here we go. Shut up. Here we go. Stop.
You keep saying stuff.
Mom, they won't let me do the podcast. Okay, here we go. On this week's Loudini Rock and Roll Circus, we're going to tell you everything you wanted to know about 10 guitarists you may not know who also have amazing singing voices. Get ready to rock out with your talk out. It's the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. Welcome back to the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. My name is Lou Lombardi, a.k.a. Loudini, the ringmaster, the ringleader, and the master of Bashan right here. We are here to talk to you guys about great guitar-driven rock and roll. That is all we do. If that's what you love, then you have come to the right place. And I just might as well say it. If you are watching this on YouTube, please take the like button there, you know what I mean, the little like button, and grab it by the wrist and shake it up and down, and then you know how it's his thumb sticking up, just suck on its thumb a little bit, okay? If you do that, we'll all be good. Want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Wolf's Customs. Go to wolfscustoms.online. They do custom paint jobs and finishes on musical instruments and all kind of cool stuff. Chris Thunderwolf Dodson has been a good friend of the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus for a long time, and we really do appreciate his patronage. Go to wolfscustoms.online and check him out. Our websites are as follows: LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com, as well as LouLombardiMusic.com. There are both those sites have places where you can opt in and get more information, behind the scenes stuff, extra things, very cool stuff, free music, free videos, and the like. So LouLombardiMusic.com and LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com. And, of course, want to give a shout-out to our good buddies at Rock Rage Radio, rockrageradio.com. Download the app and listen to great music 24/7, totally free. You get the app, just play it anywhere you're at, anywhere you are, and enjoy it. All right, guys, let's get into it. We have tonight on the podcast, unfortunately, the Hawk, our drummer, is not able to be here today. So best of luck to him. He will be coming back soon. Just some scheduling things going on with that. We have in the studio with us, of course, the lovely and talented Miss Lily V6.
What's up?
And what is going on, Lily? Anything
What
cool
is
things?
going on? Yes, there is a show at the Subalpine on Friday. I'm sorry, I do not know all of the bands playing, but I do know the Jasons and Johnny and the Razorblades will be there.
Johnny and the Razorblades.
Friday.
Okay, yeah, I know them.
And then Thunder in the Valley is this weekend in Johnstown if anybody's into bikes. So there's that.
Bikes, well, they've got bands and whatnot there.
Yeah, they have bands and whatnot.
Donner, J-Ton. Okay, and we've got Pittsburgh Kevin.
I played Thunder in the Valley. I opened for Foghat.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good
very
stuff.
cool. Hey, everybody.
All right, we have Pittsburgh Kevin as well with us today. So, I was surprised by some of these guitar players over the years that I just did not know actually sang or could sing as well as they actually do. And so we're going to talk about some of these guys. So these, no. We're not going to be talking about Eric Clapton, right?
We already know that.
Yeah, we know. We're not talking about those.
We're not going to talk about the obvious.
We're talking about the guys that you go, oh, I didn't know that guy could sing. He has a good voice. So that's the focus of what we're getting into. Hey, no, you didn't.
Oh my God.
You did.
I'm going to just meditate.
So that is going to be the focus of today's show. And as always, we like to get things started with our resident rock historian And our resident rock and roll know-it-all.
Oh, is that
Fact
what it
checker.
is? Yeah, there you go.
I'm the fact checker.
So, what do you got, Lily? You want to jump in with us, start us off with something?
Yeah, I'm just going to start with Nuno Bettencourt from Extreme. I'm sure you're aware that he does sing on Extreme songs, but he also is pretty amazing at singing his own stuff, too. So he has recorded solo albums. He founded bands including Mourning Widows, Population 1, Drama Gods, and The Satellite Party. He did reunite with Extreme in 2007. I saw him play guitar at the Generation X show that was touring for a few years. He was with several amazing guitarists, Yngwie, Steve Vai, Tosin Abasi, Zach Wilde. Sorry, I couldn't think. And he actually opened up that show. Actually, no, he came in. He was on second for that show, and he sang his own, he sang the Extreme songs, and he sounds amazing as well as his fancy guitar playing that he does. So yeah.
Fancy.
Oh, he is featured on the soundtrack for the movie Smart People. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Filmed in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
People got.
And he is credited on the cover of the soundtrack as well. And the soundtrack also features Gary Sharon. So, yeah, good stuff.
I wonder how those two, how he got you Gary Sharon to be on the soundtrack with him.
No idea.
That's one of those like crazy things.
I don't get it.
Oh my.
But yes, great movie, great singer. If you didn't know, he's a great singer as well as guitarist. So, yay, Nuno.
Okay.
I've seen him twice.
Very good, very good pick. Those of you who are on my mailing list, if you're not, go to LouLombardiMusic.com, get on my mailing list because I share all kind of interesting things with you guys. But I want to talk about a guy from, he's actually kind of from the Pittsburgh area, Paul Gilbert. No relation to Melissa Gilbert.
No.
Or Revenge of the Nerds, Gilbert.
Or Gilbert and Sullivan.
No relation.
Or Gilbert Godfrey. Lou! Right!
And we've had enough.
Paul Brandon Gilbert is an American hard rock and heavy metal guitarist. He is best known for being the co-founder of the band Mr. Big. He was also a member of Racer X, with whom he released several albums. In '96, Gilbert launched a solo career for which he has released numerous solo albums, featured in numerous collaborations and guest appearances on other musicians' albums. Has been voted 4th best on Guitar One's magazine Top 10 Greatest Guitar Shredders of All Time. He's also ranked in Guitar World's 50 Fastest Guitarist list of all time. As we said, he was raised around the they called this is people that write Wikipedia. They call Greensburg a suburb of Pittsburgh.
I mean,
it's a completely different city. They're close to it, but it's not a suburb of Pittsburgh.
No.
Began playing music at 6. At 15, he was touring local clubs with his band Dow Zero, and has been featured in Guitar Player magazine along fellow up-and-comer Yngwie Malmsteen.
Ooh, the F is Yngwie.
Yngwie Malmsteen.
The Swedish meatball.
Yep. Around 81, Gilbert first contacted Mike Varney of Shrapnel Records. Now, this is something that a little bit of background. Mike Varney was a columnist or an editor for Guitar Player magazine.
Yes, yeah.
And he founded Shrapnel Records because they would get guitar players didn't know where to send their music. Like, I'm a great guitar player and I want people to hear it. So I don't know, Guitar Player, I'll send it to Guitar Player magazine. So we get these tapes of guitar players like Paul Gilbert, and if you go through and you look at the history of Shrapnel Records, you're going to find there's a lot of young guitarists that did that, and Mike discovered them. But so he said, I'm going to found a record label for an outlet for these guys. So this is how Gilbert got noticed initially. He asked Mike if he could get a gig with Ozzy. And so he's like, I don't know Ozzy, I can't get you in Ozzy's band. But they continued talking, and then Gilbert went to attend the Guitar Institute of Technology. Even at the age of 17, he quickly became a local legend due to his advanced, extremely fast alternate picking technique, his young age, and massive repertoire of cover material. He was hired at GIT as an instructor in '85 and recorded Racer X debut album Street Lethal soon after. So this young guy from Pittsburgh, right? And it goes on eventually. I'm not going to give his whole life story, but Racer X was a big thing on Shrapnel, and Paul did a Starlicks video to showing you some of his techniques. Very interesting stuff. Very cool if you were a guitarist at that time. There was no YouTube. You got the Starlicks videos. You had to get the Starlicks videos. But let's talk a little bit about something that you don't realize Paul does. How I discovered Paul is a really awesome singer was that I was looking for a remake or some kind of cover of What a Fool Believes by the Doobie Brothers that might be more guitar oriented. I'm a guitar player. I'm like, I wonder, could you just play those really awesome chords, right? Those deep, jazz kind of things going on in that, Michael McDonald, whatever. And so I'm like, well, somebody's got to have worked this out on guitar. So I was noodling around and ran across an instrumental, and then I saw Paul Gilbert. I said, oh, this is going to be really hot. He's going to have some very, cool, it's going to be instrumental. He's got some great licks and stuff. No, it's him singing it, and he's singing it live, and he sounds freaking great. It's not an easy song to sing. If any of those of you that are singers out there, it's a tough song to sing, and he absolutely crushes it. And I believe there's a couple of different videos of him doing it. So I had no idea. He's known as this amazing shredder guitar player, signed to Shrapnel Records at a very young age, becomes a teacher at Guitar Institute of Technology, and he's got a great voice.
And boom goes dynamite.
Who'da thunk it? Who'da thunk it? Who'da thunk it? So, what do you got?
No, I'll do one.
You want to do one?
I got one.
I got this. Pittsburgh Kevin.
Okay. So I was looking for
You were noodling around?
I was noodling around, as Lou would say.
I was noodling with my noodle.
But anyway,
oh, no, you didn't.
Oh, yes, I did.
Boys.
But I'm gonna go with Brian May, guitarist for Queen. Everybody knows
Quinn.
Brian May. What? What'd you say?
I just said Quinn.
Quinn?
Sorry.
But everybody knows him as a guitarist for Queen. A fantastic sound, fantastic playing ability. But when Queen wasn't doing their thing, he was out doing his thing with his own band. And he sounds fantastic.
Is it beautiful?
It's beautiful.
It's all too beautiful.
I do like Brian.
Yes, I do too.
Michael's
Hey.
and Brian.
He's smart too. He's an astrophysicist, isn't he?
He's a
I
smart
thought you said
man.
he's an afrophysicist.
Well, in the
that
early
too.
days, he got some hair on him. I'm just saying.
That too.
Of course, the guitar player for Queen. 83 to 99 has some side projects. He was in the studio with Eddie Van Halen in 1983, and they really weren't going to do anything. But over a 2-day session, a mini album was released called Starfleet Project. He doesn't sing on it, I don't believe.
I don't think on that album.
It's an instrumental album,
yeah.
but I just think it's a great rock and roll footnote. Brian May and Eddie Van Halen did an album together.
I just see them Eddie's like, hey, I made this guitar. And Brian's like, no, I really made this guitar. This was my mantelpiece, this neck. I really made it. I can just see those two. And I'm sure that there was some technical talk between the two of them.
Oh, yeah, because Eddie fixed
Eddie
guitars apart and made
oh,
guitars
yeah.
and stuff, too. Absolutely. So those two guys probably hit it off very well. May contributed to former Genesis guitarist Steve Hackett's album, Feedback 86, playing guitar on the track Cassandra and providing guitar and vocals on a song called Slot Machine, which May co-wrote. So way back then, May is singing. And you have to think about it like some of the other people on the list sang backup, like Paul Gilbert sang backup in Mr. Big. So, but sometimes you just don't put it together. That put a microphone in front of him, have him sing some songs. It sounds really good.
Yeah.
Unlike Keith Richards.
Well,
Baby, make me happy.
Oh my God.
We're gonna get blocked on YouTube for that.
Probably.
Copyright infringement.
well, trust me.
They're gonna slap you on the hand.
Ooh. Promises.
And the bum.
Oh.
The bum. Me likes it, the bum.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Oh, no, you didn't.
T-shirts are forthcoming.
Okay, but anyways, he has a solo album. I mean, a solo band, the Brian May Band, and works with people like Cozy Powell. Maybe you heard of him. Maybe you heard of Rick Wakeman. Maybe you've heard of some of those people.
Sure.
And players of that ilk. And you know, he's just gone through different. His solo band has just gone through different iterations and done different things. And of course, we know Queen is a thing again.
Yes.
So, but yeah, just a little bit of background on maybe what Brian has been up to, and that's a good one, Kevin. So thanks for pointing that out.
Yes.
Very good one. Okay, who's going next?
It's me.
It's you, oh little old you.
I'm stealing.
Why, you little old thing.
I'm stealing one from your list because I had it first.
Okay.
Orianthi from Alice Cooper / Michael Jackson / solo. I'm sure people realize it, but I think sometimes forget about her. Australian musician, singer, songwriter. She rehearsed in 2009 with Michael Jackson in preparation for the This Is It concert series and performed with Alice Cooper's touring band, who I did see her play with his band one time.
Nice.
One time. And that was awesome. It was
It's
at...
before Nina, though.
Yes, it was
Before
at
Nina.
Stage AE. And I didn't know who she was, and I had to have someone explain her to me. But turns out she can sing too. It's a little poppy, but it works. I remember the first time I heard the song, I didn't know who it was. I was working, and it was at the salon. It was playing over the thing, and I heard the singing, and that didn't actually catch my ear first. It was the guitar playing, and I'm like, who is this? And I had to look it up because it was amazing guitar playing. But she incorporates her amazing guitar talents with pop. Her debut single, According to You, peaked at number 3. In Japan, number 8 in Australia, number 17 in the U.S. Her second album, Believe, reached a worldwide release in late 2009. She played and sang at Jackson's Memorial, globally televised live on July 7th, 2009. And she does appear in the film Michael Jackson's This Is It, which chronicles the rehearsals for the tour and shows her and Jackson on stage. She also appears on the We Are the World 25 for Haiti.
Wow.
With the original co-written and partly performed by Jackson. Orianthi joined supergroup Hollywood Vampires on the track Whole Lotta Love.
Nice.
From the band's 2015 self-titled debut album. And I think she's freaking amazing. I thought she was amazing already as a guitarist because her voice is pretty awesome too. And unfortunately, she dated Sambora, but we don't have to talk about that.
Yeah, well, we try not to get into celebrity gossip here, but sometimes you just can't help it.
But I was fortunate enough to see her play 1 year before I believe Nita joined Cooper. So
there's some cool videos of her and the other guy visiting Norm's Rare Guitars in California. And they were checking out Telecasters in the one video, and just to watch her pick up a guitar and play effortlessly, it's like,
she's fun. She was very stoic on the stage. Just, I'm like, she's no facial expressions, no guitar faces.
She's for business.
Just did her thing.
There for business.
With her cute little hat on.
Yeah.
I look at the fashion, too.
I'm going to pick one that I think is going to be, this is a kind of, I don't know, maybe a trick question or trick answer, or maybe this is a sleeper.
Okay.
And I know that everybody knows this guy as a guitar player. This is one of those guys that came up after Stevie Ray Vaughan died. He kind of, like, the record labels were scrambling for somebody to fill the, one of those guys was Johnny Lang, of course, who does, everybody knows he has an amazing voice. He's a great guitar player.
Yes, sir.
But what a lot of people do not realize is, number one, like Robin Trower, Kenny Wayne Shepard isn't, at least in the beginning, was not the singer. He is not the singer. He worked with a singer, the guy that has been with him for many, many years. And Kenny played the guitar, Noah sang. That's how they did it. Until this album that came out, let's see here, in the early, early 2000s, right? October of 2004. And this was his first album in 5 years. It's called The Place You're In. And Noah Hunt is not singing on this album. Kenny Wayne Shepard is doing the vocals. I think Kenny needs to sing more. I think this record is fan-freaking-tastic. This is hands down, my favorite Kenny Wayne Shepard album. I am absolutely 100% in the minority. Okay, if you go look at it on Amazon, it's got a lot of bad reviews, and like here's one from Freddie.
Oh, Freddie, yeah.
I know him.
I like KWS when it sounds like KWS. I do not know where he was or what he was trying to do when making this album. But if you like Roxy Blues, Steve Ray Vaughan Lang, stay away from this album and check out some of his other stuff. Some of his other albums are excellent. I own the 4 others, and I'm very happy with them. So you got a lot of people like that. But there were people that really did like it, and I was one of them. And this is a good review right here from Louisville Wookie. Sorry. If you're a diehard fan of artists in the traditional blues style, then you will likely be a bit disappointed on this. Further listening, however, reveals the same warmth and feeling coming from his guitar, although in a bit different format. This isn't blues, nor is it pop. This album can only be described as straight-up modern rock and roll. It tells a fascinating story from beginning to end, and I would love to speak with Kenny about what was going on in his life during this multi-year hiatus just prior to its release. I wonder who she was and if he still feels the same way or if she is still in the same place. Yeah. It's a huge departure, but it's my opinion. I like when he plays rock. I like when he sings rock. He has a great voice. And I'll just throw this out there. Joe Bonamassa, you need to forget the blues thing, and you need to get back to making great rock albums because it ain't happening. We need guys playing great. We need you great guitar players out there singing and playing great rock and roll. But Kenny sounds good on this, but it's a different thing. And I liked it. It was funny. I loaned it to the drummer I was playing with at the time. He came back and threw it at me. Said it was terrible. He hated it. So there you are. So if Keith were here, he would remind everybody that sometimes I have very bad taste.
Well, at least he reminds me.
So go ahead and put that in your pipe and smoke it.
I saw him one time in Orlando doing a solo set at the House of Blues as I was walking by because their House of Blues is open air out on their little patio. So
That's
I thought
nice.
it was cool.
Where again?
Orlando.
Orlando, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been to that House of Blues as well. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I had some jambalaya there. It was very good.
Oh.
Shrimp and grits is where it's
Shrimp
at there.
and grits, mama. Shrimp and grits. That's going to be the name of my next band, Shrimp and Grits.
You know, that doesn't surprise me.
I'm Shrimp. And I'm Grits.
Oh my God. Anyway.
Sorry, Lily.
We're Shrimp and Grits.
Sorry about that, Lily.
We get all our shrimp from the Bubba Gump Shrimp Company.
Mm-hmm.
The restaurant's overrated.
Oh, yeah. That's actually became a real restaurant after the movie.
Yeah.
Of course.
But of course.
But
of course. Why are we talking like this?
I didn't
Oh,
know.
no, you didn't.
You did.
Okay.
You're doing another one.
Let's
Yeah,
go
I'll do
ahead
one.
and get into the next Lily pick.
Oh,
No,
my
well, hold
pick.
on.
What
I
about
got
Kenny?
one. I don't know if you guys.
I thought you said you didn't do any.
I've been doing research over.
Oh, right,
here.
He's
yeah.
doing his
In
work
between
right
So
now.
sips.
instead of paying attention and being engaged with the podcast, you're doing your homework.
Have
that should
I-
have been done before.
Have I not returned your? Oh no, you didn't.
Yeah,
I've
you're
been
doing a good
returning it.
job. All right.
I'm paying attention.
All right.
I'm what they call
Sort of.
multitasking.
Go on.
So this guy is kind of known as a singer, but he's more of the guitar player for the band. Stop that, Lily. The band, The Who, and it's Pete Townsend.
Oh, people forget. Yeah.
People forget that he does.
Don't cry, don't raise your eye.
Right, and I'm
That's
thinking
it.
about his solo stuff too, like Rough Boys.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
and I
great song.
love that song.
Yeah.
You know,
Because we're a couple of rough boys.
we are a couple of rough boys, eh? With
I want you to hit me as hard as you can. Oh,
with
no.
our hush puppy shoes.
Oh, yeah.
What? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying there. So there
Is that
you
all
go.
you-
So
You're-
speaking
That's
of rough
a-
boys,
that's all- what-
speaking
yes.
of rough boys, that's why I was making a Fight Club reference. That's
Yes,
all.
I know.
But that's why I was doing it. Let My Love Open the Door.
Mm-hmm.
Face to Face is a great song as well. He's a greatest hits, believe it or not, with all the good ones. And people forget, and he's
Yeah.
a good voice. He has
He
a
does
very
have,
good voice,
yeah.
and he sings on some of the Who stuff as well.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And there's times you're listening to Who, you're like, wait, this isn't Roger.
he sings Eminence Front.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, And Roger sits there and plays dun 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 dun. That's all he does. He plays that.
They're like, oh, he's a guitar player.
Yeah.
He does
We should
that.
singers that are guitar players.
That you
There
don't
go.
know.
That's our next. That's the flip side to this podcast.
But yeah, so that is. I think that's a great pick. So what do you got, Lily?
I'm going to get probably a little bit of backlash on this one,
Uh-oh.
just a scotch, because people are going to disagree, and I know why. But I'm going to go with Joe Perry from Aerosmith, not his solo stuff,
No.
not
no,
Joe
no.
Perry project stuff.
Yeah.
No, but he does sing. I forgot that he does
He
sing.
does
yeah.
sing. Obviously the lead guitarist for American rock band Aerosmith. He's also a member of the Hollywood Vampires
Yes.
with Alice Cooper and Johnny Depp. His influences are Fleetwood Mac and so on, but we're not going to get into that. But he sings on some of the Aerosmith songs. Stop Messing Around is one of my songs, Rattlesnake Shake. He also does one of my very, very favorite songs on one of my very favorite albums that people don't like, Honkin' on Bobo.
Yes.
Back Train, which I think is a fantastic song, and I think he does it just amazingly. His voice was sort of made for that more, I think, heavier bluesy type stuff. So I didn't like Joe Perry Project. I thought it sucked. Let's be real. It was awful. His voice is awful in that. But it didn't really work for me. But I was impressed with his vocals on all of the Aerosmith songs. I know everybody knows who Aerosmith is, but not everybody knows that that's him on the few songs.
Well, it's
that he
like
does
Pete
do.
Townsend singing on some of the Who, so a
Yeah.
lot of people don't know that.
He
yet.
does Walk On Down, Bright Light Fright, so yeah, a couple of
pick.
songs on there. So people,
Very
I think,
good.
forget because he'd rather play the guitar and not sing, but he does a good job when he tries.
Well, I mean, this is another band that has great background vocals. I mean, going
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
You know, that whole thing. I mean, you know. So there has to be some good singing in there somewhere.
He's just got that really deep voice that I think doesn't work sometimes.
Non-deep voice, mama.
Not a good one.
Deep
Not a good one.
It'll try to take you out back and teach you who's who
Whoa, whoa,
and what's
whoa,
what.
whoa, whoa! What's going on over there?
Those are two different flavors.
I was just getting nice and warmed up.
Oh my god.
Here on
Stick
Loudini, rock and roll circus.
You should do the whole podcast in that voice one day,
Please don't.
just to see what happens.
What was his name on WKRP? Venus Flytrap. He didn't do that, but
Was
he, had a-
Venus- yeah,
he did
Venus.
that mellow kind of like, hey.
Hey, how's it going?
So, anyways, everybody knows that Chris Robinson. I just gave it away. That Chris
Aw,
Robinson is the lead singer for
Black Crows.
the Black Crows, which are kind of like Aerosmith Jr.
Yeah.
Sure.
In any case, awesome band, right? What can we say about the Black Crows? The Black Crows, the freaking Black Crows. But his brother, Chris Robinson, is the guitar player. You know, the main guy who's been in the
Right.
band the whole time. Different Mark Ford, Luther Dickinson, a bunch of guys have come through that on the other spot. But Rich and Chris, they are kind of the band. And but Chris sings too, and he has solo albums out, and has done several records. I actually own one or two of them because as a guitar player, I just love his tone. He's always playing like different guitars and always like kind of like getting that very cool, warm, vintagey kind of thing going on. But he has released solo albums. He had a band called Hookah Brown. Yeah. But he has his own, his own solo stuff as well. Now he's a very different sounding voice than his brother. He does not sound like his brother at all. He has a more, I don't know. I would put it like a more what you would associate with a kind of more singer-songwriter kind of voice. And I remember getting the album and really I thought it was very, very good. But I had to forcibly tell myself, this is not.
This
Chris
is different.
Yeah. This is Rich. He's doing something different. Don't get too married to. Don't be too caught up in this is like Black Crows. And I played it for a friend of mine, and he was exactly like this. Well, he says, no, he should just had his brother come and sing. I'm like, well, dude, then it wouldn't have been a Black Crows album.
Duh.
But I think he's a great guitar player. His voice may not ring everybody's bell, but he does sing and he puts out records as himself. So if you've never heard any of his solo stuff, of course, just get on YouTube or whatever and peruse it. And I'd like to know what you think about it. Who's next?
I'll go with one.
You got one?
Yeah. Now, Lou, I love the ladies.
Oh my gosh.
So
Love to have my fun.
Love the ladies. So my next one.
Yes, I love the ladies. I like to take them out in the back.
See what you did?
I'm sorry, everybody. Sorry. But how about Nancy Wilson from Heart? She sings. She sings.
These dreams.
Exactly.
Is it all the songs I like that everybody hates?
Well, Nancy appreciates it.
Yeah,
like
people
her.
forget that she sang.
Yeah, she also sings. That's awesome.
That's
And
a good
she's
one.
so pretty.
Pretty.
Why, if I were driving around in a pirate outfit, she's the girl I'd want to pull up next to me in a Corvette.
You'd be okay in the
I'd
pirate
be,
hat?
Okay, I'd be like,
Okay.
what's up? You want some chicken
In her
fries?
half purple, half pink sweater?
Yes. Such an 80s fuzzy sweater thing, yes.
I used to have a white one like that.
Oh, you can pull up next to me in your Corvette.
I used to have a Corvette.
What?
Yes, it's gone.
It's all timing, Lou.
I'm
All timing.
gonna go anti for one.
What?
I'm gonna turn it around on you guys.
Go ahead.
Here's a guitar player
Who can't?
who is a wonderful songwriter, wonderful guitar player.
Mm-hmm.
Was like in one of the most influential bands ever in rock.
Boy. Here we go. Uh-huh.
And it's not Keith Richards.
That's what I was waiting for.
But Robbie Robertson really doesn't sing. You ever heard any of his solo albums?
No.
He
Probably for a reason.
kind of just talks.
Oh.
He's like Lou Reed.
Yeah?
It's like, you know, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
got
what he
you.
does is he's smart. He gets other singers to come and like do the more singing stuff.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Yes.
He works with the guy from the Bodines on a song that like it got on like YEP and stations
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
The alternative.
Yeah, like
kind of
album
radio
called
stations,
Alternative,
yes,
you know.
yes.
So, but I am a huge Robbie Robertson fan. I mean, I love the band, but dude,
singing,
yeah. So like, yeah,
Not his
You
forte.
switched it up.
yeah. So
Yeah,
I just
you're
thought I'd throw a little
crazy.
zinger in.
Look
there.
at that.
I'm feeling kind of crazy, like you know how it is sometimes. Just feel crazy. Feel crazy.
Lily, save us.
It's okay.
Lily, please.
It's okay.
Anyway, next on the list.
Remember that day we got canceled? Yeah, it was fun. That was a fun show.
Look, we
Remember that
own
show?
this podcast.
Oh,
so
yeah, that's
we have to
right.
cancel ourselves.
That's
I'm
right.
canceling
That's
myself.
it.
I could see Lou doing that if he
I
got in a really
unfriend
bad
you.
mood.
Cancel.
I'm going to go with Bruce Kulick on my next pick.
Oh, all right then.
Kulick.
American guitarist, musician since 2000, a member of the band Grand Funk Railroad.
Mhm.
Previously was a longtime member of the band Kiss.
Mhm.
Also a member of the band Union with John Corabi and Blackjack. And that's all I think. He also has several solo albums, Audio Dog,
Did not know he sang.
yes, Transformer, and most recently BK3, all of which he does the vocals on. So
I'm gonna have to go listen to him.
now you're going to have to do that.
I'm gonna. Is it good? You like it?
I like Audio Dog
Audio
stuff. Yeah, I like that album the best out of the three. That's from 2001.
Dog? Wow.
He's also basically collaborated with everybody on everything in one way or another, from Billy Squier to Michael Bolton and beyond. So I think he's great, little underrated. People forget about him. And didn't know he sang. So
Yeah, we need to remember him. I'm gonna have to check out some of his stuff, man.
I'm also friends with him on Facebook.
I always thought that he was I always thought he was like a really cool guitar player. So
I saw him in Grand Funk Railroad at the casino, and he wasn't singing then, but he looked like he was having a great time. So there's that.
There you go.
Would you like me to read some things?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah. So let's have some comments.
Chris Thunderwolf is watching. Sean Donahue says Richie Sambora is one of those guys. Rod Wilkins said, who was from Greensburg now? I can't think. Gilbert.
Paul Gilbert.
Yes. Jelf Pilson from Dokken. Would be one,
Okay.
I suppose. One that I'm going to name, and I'm not going to read it on here.
Was but you read one of mine, Richie Sambora.
Okay, John
sure.
Sykes is mine.
Sykes.
Mike Albert's watching, and Cissy Boland is watching. Hi,
Well,
sis.
See?
welcome all y'all. Welcome all y'all to
All
the
y'all.
Loudini Rock and Roll Circus, where we're having a nice little chat.
Sissy, it's okay. You should come over and drink with us.
Yeah, come on.
wolfscustoms.online. Get a hold of those guys. Get custom paint job, custom finish done on your musical instrument. They do great work, high quality stuff, and you won't look like the last 5 guys that were up on the stage just now playing. You'll have your own thing. So check them out, wolfscustoms.online. Go to rockrageradio.com. Download the app. Also, I keep forgetting to mention this, but you're going to get to meet Loudini himself at Nashville Rock and Pod Expo this year. So go to NashvilleRockandPodExpo.com for tickets and more information. Lots of great rock and rollers will be hanging out. They'll be doing meet and greets, and you get to get some photos and stuff with some of your favorite people. Plus, there's a lot of cool memorabilia and things like that there as well. Go to NashvilleRockandPodExpo.com. Loudini Rock and Roll Circus.com and LouLombardiMusic.com to get some free downloads and things of that ilk. So,
go
ahead.
All right, the next one on my list is Derek St. Holmes, American musician best known as a vocalist and rhythm guitar player for Ted Nugent's early solo career. After splitting with Nugent, he worked with various artists, most notably Whitford St. Holmes, who I have seen, which is very exciting for me, with Brad Whitford from Aerosmith, which I got to see it in a crowd of 25 at the Hard Rock Cafe in Pittsburgh. Wow. That was very exciting for me because I got to meet both of them as well.
Exclusive.
Yes, I know. It's so great. Well, nobody came out. It was a pouring, rainy night, and it was just a bad-selling show.
That's one of those shows that, like, you kind of kick yourself. How did I miss that? That would be a really good show. See Brad Whitford like up close.
I got so excited.
Yeah, I mean, like
they're giving me bunny ears in the photo and everything. It's
nice.
Great. Derek sang in the Paul Reed Smith band, co-writing songs including One and the Same and Ice Cold Kisses. St. Holmes was a special guest at the Get the Let Out concert at Rams Head in Baltimore. He played guitar for rock and roll and then sang Stranglehold. He's actually the voice heard in the track recording. He's also performed Stranglehold with Get the Let Out at the Nokia Center in New York City. While I'm mentioning Derek St. Holmes, I'm just going to go ahead and say Brad Whitford sings too because he was singing at that show as well. So he's going to be my little honorable mention for the night.
Nice.
So both fantastic singers. Just nobody really knows or thinks about it, I think, for those two. So
this guy is known in certain circles as Riff Lord.
Oh.
That is how respected and revered this guy is as a guitar player. His tone is still he came to prominence in the 90s. Today his tone is still being analyzed and people are trying to get his tone because this is what an amazingly influential guitar player this guy is. But a lot of people do not realize that Jerry Cantrell also has a great voice. He is doing those. One of the things Alice in Chains did was like unlike any of those other band was they had these insane harmonies. They have really go back and listen. I mean, they're not normal like pop kind of harmonies. They do these very oddball things. And it is part of the Alice in Chains sound. This is one of those bands that, if you're going to cover, it's like, they say if you're going to cover AC/DC, you really should have a rhythm guitar player. You should have 2 guitar players. I think if you're going to cover a lot of the Alice in Chains material, you really need another vocalist who can cop those harmonies because once you hear that without you realize something's missing. You got to have that. And Cantrell was dynamite at that. As well as he did sing some Alice in Chains songs as well, kind of like the way Pete Townsend sang in The Who. So I kind of bring these two together. He had put out a solo album in 1998, which I bought, called Boggy Depot. Degradation Trips Volumes 1 and 2 in 2002. Also collaborated and performed with Heart, Ozzy Osbourne, Metallica, Pantera, Circus of Power, Metal Church, Government Mule, Damage Plan, Pearl Jam, The Cult, Stone Temple Pilots, Danzig, Glenn Hughes, Duff McKagan, The Deftones, and many others. Wow. The name Riff Lord came from rock metal magazine Metal Hammer in 2006. Guitar World ranked Cantrell as the 38th out of 100 greatest heavy metal guitarists of all time. 37th greatest guitar player of all time in 2012. Guitar World also ranked Cantrell's solo from Man in the Box at number 77 on its list of 100 greatest guitar solos. Also contributed to the soundtrack of Cable Guy, John Wick Chapter 2, Dark Knights, has made cameos in films such as Jerry Maguire, Rock Slide, and Deadwood the Movie. Cantrell also acted in the Alice in Chains mockumentaries, The Nona Tapes, and AIC 23. Jerry Cantrell.
There it is.
There it is. Boom
Yeah.
goes the dynamite. As
Boom
Louis
goes the
says.
dynamite.
Indeed.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that that he is just a great singer.
He is a great
Okay,
singer.
who's what do you got next?
Me?
Here we go.
All about me. Well, I do want to say hi to Roscoe Jack, who is watching from the band 434 out of
Roscoe.
Stanton, Virginia. I said it right. He likes Red Stag, and he's bringing me moonshine next time he comes into town. Anyway, we're
There
going
you
to go
go.
next.
Roscoe P. Coltrane.
That's not his name.
John Sykes is on my list.
Oh yeah.
English musician, songwriter, and producer, best known as member of Whitesnake, Thin Lizzy, Tigers of Pantang. He was fired.
Tigers of what?
Pantang.
Pantang. Did you?
Oh, Pantang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Wow.
No. Oh,
Wow,
no, you
not
didn't.
that.
Oh yes, I did.
Not that. He was fired from Whitesnake by David Coverdale. He then fronted the hard rock group Blue Murder
Yep.
and released several solo albums. After 2 albums and a live record, he embarked on a solo career for the remainder of the 90s and early 2000s. Sykes split his time between his solo career and reformed Thin Lizzy, which he fronted until 2009. He is the main vocalist on his solo albums and Blue Murder. Everything he has done in Blue Murder reflects from the previous bands he was in. He described their sound in 1989 with Raw Magazine as having elements of both Whitesnake and Thin Lizzy, as well as the blues, which I totally hear that in a lot of the songs.
I love the song Jelly Roll.
Okay.
That is really killer. And then they have a song called Blue Murder.
Yeah.
I'm screaming.
I think they're touring again.
Oh, that would
So.
be very nifty.
That would be nifty. So.
That would be like Neil Mosquito.
He refers to the band's music as heavy funk.
Okay.
I get it. I feel that.
She feels it.
I feel it.
She is going to go in the back.
Here we go. That's my fault this time.
Time to feel it.
That's my fault this time.
Please.
She feels it in certain places that only a woman can feel things. I know what you're talking about. That's right.
I'm going to drink.
Have a drink, Lily.
All right.
This is what I
I
have to
heard
do.
the song Problem Child.
You
On the
heard
way
it?
home.
Oh,
Yeah,
I was,
on the way home.
I've heard it too.
That's great, Lou. I'm glad.
So I feel like a problem child tonight.
Well, there you go.
I feel like the
You'll have that sometime.
redheaded stepchild of podcasting.
Oh, boy.
There you are. That's my logo. I mean, that's my my
Your moniker?
My moniker.
Yeah.
The redheaded stepchild of podcasting.
Podcasting.
Somebody needs to write that down. We're gonna make that a thing. Oh no, you didn't.
You did.
This is what I
Yes,
get.
you didn't.
This is so what I get.
This is so what you get for hanging around with a bunch of maniacs.
Freak boys.
Freak. Do you want to do Richie Sambora or do you want me to do Richie?
You can
Sambora?
have it.
No, you do them.
You do them.
But I did Jerry Cantrell.
Do another one.
Well, I have to do him.
I would never do him.
Born July 11th, 1959, American rock guitarist, singer, songwriter, and producer, best known as lead guitarist, the rock band Bon Jovi. He and singer John Bon Jovi formed the main songwriting unit.
You said unit.
Also released 3 solo albums: Stranger in This Town, Undiscovered Soul, and Aftermath of the Lowdown, released in September 2012. 2018, Sambora was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a member of Bon Jovi and reunited with former bandmates for a performance at the induction ceremony. That year, he formed the duo RSO alongside Orianthe. After 2 EPs, the pair released their debut album, Radio Free America, in May.
And now she's regretting that.
Well, we don't really. Solo albums, like we said, Stranger in This Town, blues influence album, that charted 36 on the Billboard 200 in 1991. Lead singer, Battle of Youth, reached a high of 63 on the U.S. charts. So that isn't like, he's in like chart-topping stuff here. He's just, he's kind of getting in there. But the next album was produced by the one and only Don Was, who I love. It was called Undiscovered Soul, released in 98. only charted at 174.
But it charted.
Hard Times Come Easy charted at 39. So that is cracking the top 40. And 37, I say crack. In the UK, In It for Love charted at 58, so kind of didn't really do much better after that. 14 years after his previous solo album, Sambora announced via Twitter page that recording Aftermath of the Lowdown had been completed with hopes that the album would be released in 2012. So he is out there. He's singing. He's playing. He's putting out music. He has done some work with Orianthe.
I'll bet he has.
Alicia Keys.
Well, he just gets around, doesn't he?
No. I'm being serious.
Okay.
Mom!
I'm always screwing around.
Yeah, Betty's out there doing some work. This one, just saying.
You see, I rearrange things in here, right? We have so much more room for activities.
I might do a cartwheel.
We do aerobics.
Break my hip.
At break hip speed.
I mean,
Loudini Rock and Roll Circus coming at you at break hip speed.
Nice.
I hate
We're
you
all
guys.
geriatric rockers out
Lovely.
there. No wonder people hate me. So, it's really no wonder. I'm sorry. I brought this on myself. It's my bed. I must lie in it.
I mean, whatever.
Come on, Lily. Give me something.
I've got one more. Steve Brown from Trickster. Creator and lead guitarist of the rock band Trickster, born and raised in New Jersey, destined to live the life submersed in music. The mostly self-taught artist picked up his first guitar at 9 years old and never looked back. He began his lifelong love affair with live performing at the ripe old age of 12 when he became a regular on the New Jersey rock scene in the 1980s. 12 years old, he began writing music lyrics and founded his band. Got an MCA deal, sold out arena tours, blah, blah, blah. But now, as I have pleasantly seen, he sings his own songs. So
Good for him.
he was with the Eric Martin and another guy from Trickster. I can't think of his name right now because I've had one
Eric
too
Martin
many
from
teas.
Mr. Big.
Yes.
Okay.
Eric Martin's from Mr. Big, but the other two are from
These
Trickster.
iced teas, right? Really,
They're not
the
different.
Like 'em?
They're not different alcohol content. I don't know why. Anyway, he sings beautifully his own songs, so I think he could actually, if he wanted to do a solo album, he could work that out. So I'm cool with it.
Give him a call.
Oh, I did have one more. I lied.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Marty Friedman is the other one that I had.
That's right. He does do a little singing.
He does do
But
a
then
little
most
singing,
of
not
their
much.
Most of their show was instrumental.
Instrumental, but as you and I saw, he does just a wee bit of singing.
Just a wee bit.
Not
a wee
much,
bit.
but a little bit. And he resides in Tokyo, Japan now with his wife. Hiyori Okuda is his wife's name, and she is a cellist.
Oh, she's Irish.
Yes,
she's
obviously.
Irish.
He probably sang like 3 songs at the whole show that we saw, but he does sing good. He's more of a, he sings well.
I wasn't going to say anything. You caught it.
No, I did, because it hurt my brain to hear it.
Why did I do that?
But he sings well, and he should probably continue to do that. But he is a great guitar player, as
Kids.
everybody knows, because he was in Megadeth, and there's that.
Kids always talk good grammar, Kay. From Pittsburgh, Kevin. Always talk good grammar, Kay.
And that.
It literally hurt my brain to hear me say it.
I know.
I'm like,
Is that Lily?
We're gonna mention one more. I don't know. This is several years ago. I don't think it was 10 years ago, but it was a while ago.
Yeah.
And this album came out called the Winery Dogs.
yay.
And this is a super group with Mike Portnoy on drums, Billy Sheehan, who's a guy that I'm going to mention here in a second, and another shrapnel guitar player like Paul Gilbert, Richie Kotzen. Kotzen?
I say Kotzen.
I think it's Kotzen, yeah.
Kotzen. Richie Kotzen. And I was floored. Of course, they were great players, but Richie's a great singer, even better live than on the album, which is really saying something. And they did 2 covers. They did the whole Winery Dog. They were trying on their first album. They did the whole album, but they did 2 covers. And the first one was Shy Boy by David Lee Roth. Billy Sheehan sang that. And he has a damn good voice. Now, he's a bass player, but he's a really good voice.
Huh.
Well, you got to think, though, he's in Mr. Big, and they had all those great harmonies and everything.
Right.
So,
There you go.
I was like, well, no shit, Sherlock. But Richie, the other cover they did was the classic, originally featuring Mickey Thomas on vocals, by Elvin Bishop, Fooled Around and Fell in Love.
No way.
And Richie played piano on it.
Nice.
And with the guitar like slung around his back, then whipped it around for the solo, you know. Total rock and roll.
Well,
totally
isn't he cool?
I mean, they looked good. They sounded good. It was absolutely amazing. I was just floored by what a great singer he is. He did all kind of stuff where he did like vocal improvs, like in that soulful kind of thing that were just knock you out. I mean, I would put him right there with like Glenn Hughes in his heyday or Sammy Hagar in his heyday. You know what I mean? That real like, wow, you know,
yes.
that type of thing. It sounded absolutely fantastic. It's hard to believe that he played with Poison for 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
But he began playing piano at age 5. At 7, was inspired to learn the electric guitar by the band Kiss.
There's that.
Started his career in a band named Arthur's Museum. Kotzen was eventually discovered by Shrapnel's Records' Mike Varney and recorded his first solo album by the age of 19, and the first of two instrumental records. So he starts out instrumentals; he's not singing. Simply entitled Richie Kotzen. He created the video Rock Chops. This is one of those. It wasn't Starlix, but it was REH. Same thing they did. Educational videos for guitar players, highlighting many of his formative techniques. 1 year later, second solo album, Fever Dream, was released. In 91, at 21, he joined the band Poison, co-writing and performing on the album Native Tongue. The album produced 2 top 20 singles, which Kotzen co-wrote, Stand and Until You Suffer Some. In 93, Ricky Rocket, the drummer of Poison, discovered that Kotzen was having a relationship with Rocket's then fiancée, and Kotzen was dismissed.
Oops.
He was dismissed. You're dismissed! Out!
From Reading, Pennsylvania.
You may get out now!
Is that how he said it?
You will leave the poison behind!
Wait, are we talking about scorpions or poison?
Yeah.
You could tour the scorpions next! Okay, then he focused on his solo career after all. So it's like, okay, and then he put out some soul, R&B, blues, funk influenced melodic rock albums. He also made guest appearances on albums by artists like Glenn Hughes, Steve Salas, T.M. Stevens, collaborated with Greg Howe on a couple of fusion albums. In 99, Kotzen replaced Paul Gilbert as the mainstream hard rock, as the guitarist in Mr. Big, the mainstream hard rock band. So, I mean, he's been everywhere and done tons and tons and tons of stuff. And you may not realize, I mean, he starts out as a shrapnel guy, his instrumental stuff, but he has a great voice. I mean, a really, really, like, out of all the guys we have on this list, like, he's up there.
It's legit.
It's like he's got a, like, killer voice.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So anyways, that's our list. That's our story. We're sticking to it. Thanks for all the folks that watched us on Facebook
Got a
Live.
couple, Diana Swens, Travis
you.
Tharp, August Bergman, a couple other watchers.
Thank
Bill
you.
Damiano found us because I had to
you.
switch
Thank you.
over to Rock Rage Live.
Okay.
Shut up, due to there was nobody on there, so I moved over to Rock Rage Live.
Sure, so it's all good. Okay, guys, let's do this day in music.
Yeah.
So speaking of people doing stuff you didn't know they did, okay? In 1963, a 13-year-old. Now remember, people forget Stevie Wonder started out as like a kid musician. You know what I mean? He was kind of like not a novelty act, but one of those like super young,
he's a
like
young
Michael
kid.
Jackson,
Right,
one of those.
right.
13-year-old Stevie Wonder first entered U.S. singles charts as Little Stevie Wonder with Fingertips Parts 1 and 2.
Oh, my.
This feature, check this out. Now, speaking of guys you didn't know did stuff, Marvin Gaye on drums.
Really?
Oh.
First live non-studio recording to reach #1 on the Billboard Top Singles charts in the United States since John Stanley's 52 comic monologue, It's in This Book. So it was the only other live thing that ever got up there on the charts before that was a comedy record. Interesting, right?
He does something.
Okay, let's just get it out of the way. The Beatles played their first show ever in New Zealand on this day in 1964. Beatles, two policemen had to control 5,000 fans.
That's not anything. That's a little tiny group of people. Like, calm down.
On this day in '68, Herb Alpert started a 4-week run at #1 on the U.S. singles charts with
I can't stand you.
That's Chuck Mangione. I know you did it.
Yes, I did.
This Guy's in Love with You was the song first. All right, I'm done with that.
Now that's him.
That's him.
There you go.
But this was a Burt Bacharach and Hal David the song that he had. Oh, dude, this is another thing I think people forget.
Yes.
Because so much time has gone by, and these guys have done so many different projects. But there was a time when Rod Stewart and Jeff Beck were in the same band.
Yeah.
That's some good eating.
That is some good eating.
If you could check out the Beck, I believe it's called Beck-Ola. Get that record with Rod Stewart. I mean, those two guys work together so well. Unbelievable. They made amazing music together. On this day in 1968, Otis Redding's album Dock of the Bay went to #1 on the UK.
Wow.
Posthumously
yeah,
released. His sixth
I hate that
studio.
word.
Posthumously.
Because it means somebody dead.
Well, it's like a mouthful of poop. You can't say it without spitting.
Yep.
And that's my microphone. I'm the only one who uses
That's
this.
right.
Here's some more happy news.
I'm switching that mic.
On this
with
day in
mine
1969,
for next week.
Judy Garland,
Oh.
American singer actress Judy Garland, died of a barbiturate overdose.
I like that word.
Wow.
She was 47.
Youngster.
I know.
We all know what she did. I don't need to go into the Wizard of Oz. And
I kind of feel like
Oh, she was in The Wizard of Oz?
Wow.
She was in the Wizard of Id. Did you read that comic?
The comic strip.
That would be funny. I don't know why that would be funny. In 1970, Led Zeppelin appeared at Langendardstal Hall in someplace in Iceland, someplace where Thor lives. Okay, on the group's one and only visit to Iceland, it is suggested that Robert Plant was inspired to write the lyrics to immigrant songs during this trip.
Yeah. Okay.
I come from the land of the ice and snow, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
It's called Pittsburgh.
On this day, 1980, Don McLean had his second UK #1 single with Roy Orbison's song "Crying." The song had been a #2 hit for Orbison in July of '61 and '87. Orbison re-recorded the song as a duet with Katie Lang as part of the soundtrack for the motion picture Hiding Out. Their collaboration won the Grammy Award. That was a total cluster. Was this Don McLean? Was this Roy Orbison? Was this Katie Lang? I have no idea what was being said. On this day in 1981, though, Mark Chapman pleaded guilty to the charge of murdering John Lennon 80. He was later sentenced to 20 years to life.
Pardon my French, he's a jag-off.
Brian Adams. He was mentally ill, dude.
Yeah.
Brian Adams started a 2-week run at #1, the U.S. singles chart with Heaven.
Oh my god.
Rye Cooter. Crazy Cooter coming at you.
Yeah.
Second time we've referenced the Dukes of Hazzard on this podcast. Rye Cooter, David Lindley, The Cure, Happy Mondays, Shinehead O'Connor, Deacon Blue, blah, 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 and a bunch of them all appeared for the first day of the year's Glastonbury Festival. A 3-day ticket cost £38.
38 pounds.
On this day in 1992, Kurt Cobain was rushed to the hospital after a gig in Belfast, Northern Ireland, suffering from acute stomach pains brought on by ulcers. On this day, 1992, 3 members of MC Hammer's tour crew were wounded in a drive-in shooting incident. I think it's a drive-by shooting incident.
What?
3 days later, Joseph Mack, a dancer in Hammer's entourage, was shot on stage during a concert. Dang!
It's
You know,
Hammer.
you think Hammer's like all fun, all stuff.
yeah.
He's not gangsta.
What
Well,
the heck?
I tell you what, man, you got some gangsta going on there.
Wow.
A few happy birthdays. This guy is like, this guy's right up there with Johnny Cash and all those guys. This is Chris Christopherson.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah, happy birthday, Chris Christopherson.
Wow.
Peter Asher from Peter and Gordon, excuse me. Wrote a bunch of songs. Todd Rundgren, again, a guy who wrote a bunch of songs.
Oh.
Yeah, that's all I'm going to introduce. Guys, this guy wrote a bunch of songs. Next, Todd Rundgren. Member of Nas and Utopia. Wrote all these, he wrote the England Dan and John Ford Coley song, Love is the Answer. Do you know he wrote that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, Todd Rundgren's song.
I did not know that. Oh!
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I worked on the Bat Out of Hell album.
Wow.
He's a guitar player on that.
Well, ain't that some shit?
Yeah.
It is,
When they said that they needed a motorcycle. What?
Nothing. I just thought of something. Go ahead.
Okay.
When they said they wanted a motorcycle sound, that's Rundgren with the guitar in front of the
Yeah, we
Marshall
talked
amp.
about that
Really?
once.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, he's very. Also, was Liv Tyler's stepdad.
Yeah.
Huh.
Who she thought was her daddy
Yeah.
for a hot second.
Cyndi Lauper.
Aw.
Happy birthday, Cyndi Lauper. We like you.
I like Cyndi
I hope
Lauper.
wherever you are, you're having fun with your girls.
Cindy's still hot. In case Cindy's wondering, Cindy's still hot.
And Bobby Gillespie, guitar, vocals, rock band Primal Scream. Mike Edwards from the English group Jesus Jones. You remember Jesus Jones?
Yes.
One Hit Wonder, right
Oh
here,
my
right now.
gosh,
Yep.
Yes.
It was on all the time. It's still on. All the
Yep.
time, actually.
I know. Tom Cunningham from Wet Wet Wet. Happy
Is
birthday.
that Richie's brother?
What?
That was Richie's brother, right?
Stephen Page, guitar vocalist with the Canadian rock band Bare Naked Lady.
Hmm?
That's how I like my ladies.
Oh, gee, here we go.
Bare naked
Yes.
out back.
Yikes.
All right, guys, you've been listening to Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. Go to LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com. Go to LouLombardiMusic.com to get some cool free downloads and things like that. Check out our merch as well.
Merch.
And check out Wolf's Customs, wolfscustoms.online, rockrageradio.com. Download that app. And please come out to this awesome thing at the beginning of first weekend in August, Nashville Rock and Pod. Go to NashvilleRockandPodExpo.com and get all the details, tickets. It is coming. It is coming very, very soon. So you want to check that out. Lily V6.
I have a show on Rock Rage Radio. It's Hot Licks with Lily 6, Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern. You can get the free app on your phone. I hate you. Or you just go to rockrageradio.com and listen. I have Garage Space on this week for an interview.
Oh, cool.
Sweet. Coming out sweet. So what do you got?
What is wrong with you?
I'm having problems.
He's
Wow.
got some issues tonight, yeah?
Yeah.
What's going on with you?
I'm just hanging out, Nat.
Just hanging out.
All right, guys. Great show tonight. Shout out to Pittsburgh Kevin, Lily V6 of Rock Rage Radio. She's the one that brings the class to the operation.
Yes, she
Just
does.
today.
My name is Lou Lombardi, a.k.a. Loudini. You guys have a great week, and we'll talk to you on the next Loudini Rock and Roll Circus.